Hello guys, and welcome to a new video posted on my channel. Today is the third Detectiveomedia episode, and today we are going to be talking about the timeline of the mashup world. So if you guys are excited for this video, then make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and also hit the bell to make sure that you get notifications for all my videos and all of my secrets explained. So let's go on to talk about the timeline of the mashup worlds. So the first mashup world in the timeline is Egyptian mythology. So the reason why Egyptian mythology is the first mashup world in the timeline is because Egyptian mythology was mainly based around 3100 BC to 2686 BC. So that's like the earliest point out of all the mashup worlds that are in the timeline. The second map in the timeline, the second mashup world, is Chinese mythology. So the reason why Chinese mythology is next in the timeline is because it's mainly set around 1200 BC, which is where Chinese mythology, it's basically when it was mainly set. The next mashup world is Greek mythology, which was set around 800 to 900 BC, which is pretty much when Greek mythology was and when its era happened. The next mashup world is the Skyrim mashup world. So you guys were probably expecting a Norse mythology mashup world when actually it is the Skyrim one. So the reason why Skyrim is in this spot is because it was set in 800 AD or CE, so before Norse mythology. And you guys probably guessed that the next map in the timeline, the next mashup world, is Norse mythology, which was mainly set around 1100 CE, which was after Christ. The next map in the timeline is Pirates of the Caribbean, and the reason why Pirates of the Caribbean is here is because it was mainly set in the 1730s, mainly in 1735, because that's when Pirates of the Caribbean was set. That's like when that's when there was like the pirate era, and that's when the movies are set, and stuff like that. So yeah, the next map in the timeline is The Nightmare Before Christmas, and the reason why The Nightmare Before Christmas is in this spot in the timeline is because the original Nightmare Before Christmas film was released in 1994, which is what the mashup world is based off of. The next mashup world in the timeline is Little Big Planet, and the reason why Little Big Planet is in this spot in the timeline is because the original Little Big Planet game came out in 2008. So the reason why Little Big Planet is in this spot is because of its release in 2008. And the next map in the timeline is Steven Universe, and the reason why Steven Universe is the next mashup world in the timeline is because it was set in 2013, because that is when it was released, even though in Steven Universe you get a lot of futuristic things. The next mashup world in the timeline is Toy Story, and this is actually a lot of stuff to talk about for this mashup world, because with Toy Story there are obviously 4 Toy Story movies, as well as all of the other Toy Story mini movies, such as Toy Story of Terror, Toy Story That Time Forgot, and then you had the 3 Toy Story mini-tunes, which was Partysaurus Rex, Small Fry, and there was another one as well. I don't remember what the name was. Oh, it was a Hawaii Vacation or something like that. So, and you also had the one about Bo Peep. Lamp Life. That's what it was called. Something like that. So the reason why Toy Story is set in 2019, specifically 2019, is because the Toy Story mashup world, all of its areas have areas from all 4 Toy Story movies. So you spawn in Andy's room, Andy's first room, because Andy actually moved house in the first Toy Story movie. So you've got, from Toy Story 1 you've got Andy's first house, Andy's second house. You've also got the Pizza Planet restaurant with all of the arcade machines and stuff. And you've also got Sid's house from Toy Story 1. Then in Toy Story 2, you've got Andy's second house again. You've also got the apartment building, which Al lives in. You've also got the you got that toy store. You got Al's Toy Barn, which is where all the toys are, and that's also where the Buzz Lightyear video game can be found in the world. I was hoping maybe there would be an airport in that world as well, because at the end of the Toy Story 2 film, they went to the airport to save Woody, Jessie, and Bullseye, but sadly there was no airport in the world. But to be honest, judging by everything in the world, I don't think they could have fit it. And then everything from Toy Story 3 had Andy's second house again. You also had these Sunnyside Daycare, which is where like Lotso and all of his like villain gang is. And then you also, from that film, you had Bonnie's house, and you also had the Tri-County landfill. And then from the fourth Toy Story film, you had Bonnie's house. You also had you had like the fair, which is where they went to, as well as the antique shop. And in the fair, they had all the rides and the like the stalls where like Ducky and Buddy were and stuff like that. So yeah. So that's why Toy Story is in 2019, is because Toy Story 4 came out in 2019, and even though Toy Story 1 was released in 1995, Toy Story 2 was released in 1999, and Toy Story 3 was released in 2010, it must be set in 2019 or after that, because it also includes the stuff from Toy Story 4. So that's why Toy Story is set in 2019 and why it is in this spot in the timeline. The next map in the timeline is Festive and also Halloween, which I'm going to talk about at the same time. They are both the only two mashup worlds that are in the present day, so 2021, because Festive and Halloween are both based off of their holidays, Christmas and Halloween. So there's not really any reason why they would be at any point. Well, they'd be at any point in all of the timeline, to be honest, since they were like first like created. So yeah, it's best to have Festive and Halloween in modern day times, just like how they were placed in the battle map timeline, because seeing as Halloween and Festive obviously have their own battle maps. Moving on is the Fallout mashup world, and the reason why this is in this spot in the timeline is because Fallout was set in 2161, which is around the time of when like Fallout is set in the games. Seen as like it's like a post-apocalyptic, I can't say it, post-apocalyptic like setting, because a nuke went off and there's just the city all with like nukes and stuff, like sorry, with it's all like burned down, you have to try and survive in it, and yeah, stuff like that. So Fallout is set that is around 140 years in the future. Yeah, 140 years in the future is when Fallout is set. So yeah, moving on to the next mashup world, which is one of the earliest mashup worlds, is Mass Effect. This is set in 2183, so only 22 years after Fallout, because this is when Mass Effect was set in the games, because obviously the Mass Effect like mashup world is based off of the Mass Effect series, and apparently the Mass Effect series is based in 2183 or around that time, so that's why Mass Effect is in that spot. The next map in the timeline, which is actually the final mashup world in the timeline, surprisingly, in my opinion, is actually Adventure Time. So Adventure Time is, so I live in the UK, and Adventure Time is more of a US TV show, so I don't really know much about the show. I do know a lot about the world, because I like to go on mashup worlds quite a lot. And apparently, when I looked it up about Adventure Time, apparently Adventure Time is set in the year around 3021, which is weirdly 980 years in the future. So yeah, that's a bit weird. Oh no, wait. Oh no, sorry, only 1,000 years. I can't do math, guys. Yeah, it's set 1,000 years in the future. So that's a bit weird. But the reason why this is because apparently it's set in a post-apocalyptic world. But actually, I actually didn't know that at all, which is weird. So yeah, that's why yeah, so that's when Adventure Time is set, 1,000 years in the future. So yeah, that is the timeline order. So first was the Egyptian mythology, then it was Chinese mythology, then it was Greek mythology, then it was Skyrim, then it was Norse mythology, then it was Pirates of the Caribbean, then it was The Nightmare Before Christmas, then it was Little Big Planet, then it was Steven Universe, then it was Toy Story, then it was Festive and Halloween pretty much at the same time, then it was Fallout, then it was Mass Effect, and then finally it was Adventure Time. So there we go. That is the timeline of the mashup worlds. I do want to make a quick shout out to the Halo mashup world, because on Xbox Edition you didn't actually get Mass Effect, and they swapped it out for Halo, which is obviously like the famous Halo first-person shooters gun series by Xbox, and then on PlayStation you had Mass Effect. I don't know where Halo would have been in the timeline, probably around the same time as Mass Effect. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, then make sure you will subscribe to my channel, like this video, and also hit the bell to get notified whenever a new video stream is announced. If you guys have any ideas for Detectiveomedia episodes that I can do, then either comment them down below or text me on PlayStation 4. My username, as you all know, is Monkomedia. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video. So bye guys.